Good day, Algebra 1. Today we're going to continue talking about slope, and this time we're going to begin what's called the slope-intercept form of an equation. It's the way you write the equation of a line that's either positive, negative, undefined, or zero. And you see that in our examples here on the screen already. You see that we have all four of them here, a negative, a positive, an undefined, a zero slope. All these are represented right here. Now, the equation form we're going to be focusing on is right over here. It's y equals. So all of our equations, whenever we're asked to write an equation in slope-intercept form, begins y equals. And then we're going to have to find two numbers. We need, first of all, the slope, which we practiced finding yesterday, which was the rise over the run. And then you attach an x next to it. Then the other number you have to find yourself is the y-intercept. That's the number that the line crosses the y-axis at. So in this case, the y-intercept would be this positive 2 right here in this example. So this would be a positive 2. We know this slope is a positive slope, so it would be a positive, let's see, we can find the points actually. I can't find them right now. It's like it's about, from there to there, it's about up 2 over 1, 2, 3. So the slope would be about 2/3. So if I was going to really write this equation that we see in this example, I'd say y equals my slope, which is positive 2/3. Always attach an x next to your slope. And then the number it crosses at the y-axis is a positive 2. So I write it as a plus 2. We're going to practice and get into this a lot more in this lesson right now. So for our examples today, we're asked to find the slope, m, and the y-intercept, b, and then we'll write the equation. So the slope for line A, which is this blue one we have right here, it is a negative slope because it's going downwards. I can pick any 2 points I want, and I can see that it's going downwards from left to right. So it's a negative slope, so I'm going to have a negative answer for my slope, negative something. Let's see. Well, from this point here to the next point here, I'm going to have to go down 1 over 1. So that means my slope is negative 1 over 1. My y-intercept, which is what the b stands for, y-intercept, it's a y by the way, here we go, is the number that touches on the y-axis, which is a positive 5. So how will I write the equation of this line? You always begin with y equals, this gets attached first, always throw an x after your slope, and then this gets attached second, plus 5. And there's my equation for that line. Y equals negative 1 over 1x plus 5, or negative 1x over 5, or negative x over 5, plus 5, excuse me. You can say it either way. Let's try this again with line B. Line B is this dark purple one down here. It is increasing from one point to the next point. So I'm going to have a positive slope, I know that. So what is my slope going to be? Well, I'll use these 2 points that I defined, and I have to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because remember, your numerator is always how much up or down you go. And then I have to run 1, 2 in the positive direction. So my slope is positive 5 halves. All right, easy enough. What's my y-intercept? Well, where does this line cross the y-axis? It crosses down here at negative 5. So my b is negative 5. So to write my equation, always start off with y equals the number you have for your slope, 5 halves. It can't be simplified anymore, so I leave it as 5 halves. Throw an x next to it, and attach it with this number at the end, minus 5. And there's the equation of the line in slope y-intercept form. Now let's look at line C. Line C is this flat line right here, which is a slope of 0, because this is a 0 slope example from yesterday. My y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, is at positive 2. So to write this equation, I'd say y equals 0 times x plus 2. Well, what is 0 times anything? 0. So really this ends up canceling out, and my equation just becomes y equals 2. This is a better form of it right there. 0 times x means I have no x's, so y just equals 2. Now let's look at our line D. That's this one, that's fuchsia that goes down. Because it's going downwards from left to right, I know it's a negative slope. I can use this point at the origin that it crosses, and I'll use this point at the intersection down here. So I know my slope is going to be negative something over something. Let's see what it is. So from, change the code to make it a little more obvious. So from the origin, I have to go down negative 1, 2, 3. And I have to go to the right, positive 2. Negative 3 halves cannot be simplified anymore, so there's my slope. My y-intercept is wherever this line crosses the y-axis, which is at 0. So to write my equation, y equals negative 3 halves x. And I could say plus 0, but since 0 doesn't have a plus or a minus, I can just leave it out and leave my equation like this, because adding 0 doesn't change anything. Now for our next two examples, we're asked to graph some points. So let's go ahead and I'll use the same color to make it a little thicker. Let's graph our points. Negative 4, 0 means from the origin, I go 4 steps to the left, I don't go up or down. I go 0 up or down. 0, negative 6 means I don't go left or right, but I just go down 6. And I would connect those with my straight edge. Sorry, my graph looks all jacked up. I know from left to right, this line is going downwards, so that's going to be a negative slope I'm going to be dealing with. So I can expect to see a negative answer. So my slope is going to be negative something. Let's see, to go from this point here to this point down here, I have to go negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 6/4 can be cut in half into negative 3 halves. That can't be cut down anymore, so there's my slope in simplest form. Let's find my y-intercept. The number it touches at the y-axis. Well, it touches right here at negative 6. So to write my equation, I'd say y equals the fraction that represents my slope, negative 3 halves, throw an x next to it, and then attach the minus 6 at the end. And there's the equation of the line. We're going to focus more on what these lines and equations mean. I want you just to get into the habit of writing it for today. So there's your notes. I suspect there'll be an assignment attached to this, so make sure you get that done as soon as you can, as well as anything else you have from this week. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the teacher or any tutors that might or may not be here. Or you can ask Mr. Velasquez next door for clarification if you need it. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on Monday when I get back.